and gentlemen, it's episode Fuel Up, here. I wasn't recording.
What?
I wasn't recording.
Damn.
But in pursuit of that, I never pressed the record button.
This nigga.
This is a certified hood classic. Fuel Up.
Hey! What's going on? Oh yeah, come in. Let's see right there. Yeah, go sit down. Yeah. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode. Sit down, you're good. Welcome to another episode. I said you're good! Welcome to another episode of Fuel Up. Oh, shit. Welcome to another episode of Fuel Up. It's your boy, Jetpakjeff. I'm here for another episode, for episode 8. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining into the pod, whether you're watching for the first time or this is your whatchamacallit, 700th time watching the podcast. Thank you for coming in. You can go ahead and support the show by rating it 5 stars if you're streaming the episode on Spotify or Apple Music or any other DSP you're listening to. But if you're on YouTube, camera number 2, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and do me a favor. Like button that boy right now. Like button that boy right now. Hit the like button on that boy right now. It helps us get through the algorithms, and of course, it helps your boy out. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here. We're joined by the great producer Nuri Kami.
Yo.
Nuri, you have any opening statements today, sir?
Hey, bro. This is it. This is it, bro.
This is it for sure.
For sure.
One take, Drake.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to doing podcasts and things, it's hard to do stuff alone. It's very much more helpful to delegate or do it with collaboration. Here on this podcast, we talk about collaboration beforehand, and my dealt with that. We've, as you see before, I used to have a partner, and that didn't work out. But today's episode is about the trials and tribulations. It isn't about the trials and tribulations about that. It's about teamwork. And it's because throughout my stuff on this pod, talking about, stuff is bad for this and stuff is bad for that, I've had a lot of good times working with a bunch of people. And sometimes you got to remind yourself of that. And I know as the creator who wants to do stuff, you have ventures with people you want to do too. And it's not like last episodes when you're trying to pick and choose who's right. This one's literally about basic teamwork. But talking about teamwork, have you ever noticed that Nuri just showed up out here like out of nowhere? Like he just popped up, just produced that Taylor episode, which by the way, shout out to Nuri for that. The episode's fire. By the way, you can stream that and watch that right now. Shout out to Taylor too, baby. Good. But we actually have been making some stuff in the past. Now, Nuri has produced a bunch of videos on the YouTube page. If you like any of the Fuel Up episodes, he's editing them now. All of them, actually. And he's editing another podcast. Oh, another podcast. Yeah, another podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to announce that we have a podcast that is not the same as Fuel Up. Fuel Up, we talk about creative things and the creator economy and business around it. But when it comes to the audience that watches us, ladies and gentlemen, we've been neglecting a big one. Nuri, for the 4th time. Who is that? Who is that audience though?
Video game community for sure.
Who else?
Anime
folks, yeah.
and niggas.
And niggas for sure. Oh my God! We have been neglecting. Oh shit, that's the wrong button. I'm at lasers. I'll get it right. Shit like that is stuff that I need help with because obviously doing stuff on your own is hard. It's hard, but doing it with a team is a little bit more easier. And I wanted to do a whole nother podcast about anime and video games and all the stuff surrounded by that. Some of y'all call it geek culture. That's a whole different topic for another day. I don't like using that. But you'll find out on that podcast called Next Hub. And ladies and gentlemen, Next Hub is a podcast. It's a podcast that you have not seen yet because it is not out yet as the recording of this. Whether it's out now, I don't know. Search it up. Maybe it's already an Instagram page. I don't know. But what I do know is if you have the culture, if you love the culture and you love all things surrounding anime, video games, and everything surrounding those type of cultures, feel free to go to Next Hub ATL on Instagram and search up Next Hub on YouTube. Probably is linked in the description of this right now. It is a podcast made from me, Neri, and some people that I can't say right now because it's a secret. So go ahead and check it out. But without further ado, y'all, let's actually talk about teamwork. But we can't talk about teamwork until we get fueled up. So for today, I thought about how do I start a podcast about teamwork? Well, couldn't really think of nothing. But what I do know is that back in the day, when it came to like getting hype and getting fire, sometimes I had to down with some low shit, some amazing West Coast shit. Ladies and gentlemen, coming into the pod for the Fuel Up mix is my boy Larry June. Listen in the Fuel Up, by the way.
I don't do security, hollow tips to hit your DNA. But you wouldn't understand.
Hey, Neri, so when I first heard this man, it was last year, they were playing him like crazy. Berleezy. Some other friends at DreamCon. They love them some Larry June. Have you been listening to them or streaming them?
I'm not familiar, bro.
You're not? Well, let me just bring you to, I don't know what part of California it is, but let's go to California real quick.
Documented miles on the coupe, these hoes follow suit. They did.
All right. This should fill the West Coast, but ladies and gentlemen, it's not all about that side of town. Right by my house, I think he actually lived in the same apartments I just moved out of. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach Fox. You're welcome.
Yeah. Like it's clueless.
Now, I was listening to this song when it first came out. This man shouted out the street that I lived on too. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Apparently he lived there. Like it was me and some other folks, same street, bro.
I ain't gotta respect the streets, bro.
Gotta respect the streets. You listen to Zach Fox?
You put
No?
me on some shit.
Hey man, this man, the only comedian I know who makes actually fire ass music. Some more Zach Fox for your hip tops.
Choppers fertile, yeah, they bustin', yeah.
Alright, that's all you get for free. That's all you get for free. I'm not gonna lie, that song makes me laugh because there's always something in there I forgot that he says and shit. But ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, it's someone who actually isn't from Atlanta. Usually I play folks that are from Atlanta all the time. But this one is someone that popped up out of nowhere. 2 million streams. My name is Jack. Oh shit, go on, don't turn. My name is Jack and Tommy Richmond. It's a nice little slow key banger, just subtle thing. Nice little ride down, I don't know, the PCA if you're in the West Coast or I-20 if you're on my side of town. Ladies and gentlemen, Bunker Pre-Rollo.
Yeah, boy, like that. What you doing in here, boy, like that?
Now, I'm not gonna lie, I don't smoke at all, but like, if I were to start a very serious rotation with Snoop Dogg, Cat Williams, and a bunch of other niggas, I'll probably play something like this. It sounds like the sequence of a montage smoke video or some shit.
I can see that.
I mean, it's literally called pre-roll. I'm like, all right, bro. Y'all either rolling weed or rolling
That
weed.
gas.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to think of something else. You're not rolling the carpet it is.
All these people eat, don't know where to run.
All right, that's all you get for free. That's all you get for free, ladies and gentlemen. Bunker / pre-roll by My Name is Jack and Tommy Richmond. Fafo, a.k.a. Fuck Around and Find Out by Zach Fox and Larry June, the West Coast very own Tangible Assets. I actually didn't say the whole thing of that one, but round of applause for those folks, man. I haven't played some of those in like a whole... Actually, it hasn't been a year, but it's been a couple of months. But make sure you go ahead and stream those boys. Those niggas are fine. I'm happy all of them are. I hope my name is Jack is full time now. But all the niggas is fine as fuck. But ladies and gentlemen, this episode isn't about music. I'm happy you fueled up, but we're here to talk about teamwork, which we're gonna we're gonna get into after this commercial break. Now, I don't know. You look at me like we don't do this every episode. We'll be right back after this. You listen if you love.
The
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for listening to those episodes. Welcome to boosting them ads or potential nothingness if you're on YouTube. So thank you so much. If you're watching an ad on those things on YouTube, that means we made it, ladies and gentlemen. If we made it, let me get some round of applause if we made it already. Yeah. Whoa. If you saw nothing though, welcome to maybe a week away from this when this podcast probably dropped though. But either way, thank you so much. What I want to talk about today, y'all, is the inevitable growth. When it comes to growing in a creative space, you can do it alone. But there's a little proverb with that. I think it's an African proverb. I didn't know it was African until I saw someone gloat about it. But it's if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And obviously, it makes sense if you're a growing human that's ever had to deal with a group project in science class that niggas would just attach yourself on to be weights while you went out your way to do the science project. But when it comes to being a creative, there's a thing with great leadership, and leadership, when born out to be a great leader, knows when not to be a great leader. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to doing something great, I've been a part of plenty of teams where I'm like, yo, I can do this and that and these and those. And the person that's spearheading it has either been a person recently, I don't know if recent's a better number, but recently, that just wanted all the credit. I've been a part of people that fine, totally fine, paid everything, did it great, but they just underutilized me. I've been a part of a lot of good, great teams. Of course, they employed me, but that's neither here or there. Where it's like I'm part of a actual team, and I see how a well-oiled machine, whether it's 6 hours or 6 days or 6 months or even 3 years, how it's worked out. And what I can say from my experience is that teamwork is the best way to get through something, period. I'm so happy, and I'm always, every time I get a chance to, and I always will continue to get a chance to thank my friend Nuri for actually joining and helping me out with when it comes to all the stuff that I have going on. Because at the end of the day, y'all, when it comes to holding a camera, nowadays it's very easy. Very easy to just set up 2 cameras in your room or whatever. What isn't easy is all this other stuff that comes with it. I know how to edit, I know how to film, I know how to do all this other stuff. But at the same time, there's 1,000,001 fucking creators that live in this country alone. Forget the rest of the world, but just this country alone that can do that and still need a team. Because at the end of the day, you're only one person. You deal with decision fatigue, you deal with real life stuff, and if you're a creator trying to start from the bottom, you deal with money problems. And the best way to do things, obviously, is out of passion, because you're more willing to do something from the ground up when you don't got shit because you like it, whether it's like a bag. Y'all, I've told this story beforehand, Nuri, about, I think I probably told you about that 1079 DJ. Which, by the way, he followed me on Threads, by the way. This man is really, and if you're listening, yeah, bitch, I see you were fucking, you're in my Death Note, by the way. The man is still trying to follow me. But that's a story for another day. But what I go on that to say, I've dealt a bad hand when it comes to collaboration, right? And teamwork, where I felt like I had a great team, and I got dealt a bad hand. Like not a bad hand, but I would have got really messed up. Like, not to stay on that topic, but Neri, there's that contract that I was going to sign. If I would have signed it, and I think I expressed this in the pod, but I'm gonna say it now that we're in 6K, is that the contract said if you sign this contract, and shout out to Poe Baby, he said niggas sign contracts like this in Savannah get fucked over. If I sign this contract, you're locked in for 90 days. And if you want to cancel the contract, you gotta let them know not 30 days before the contract's over. If you have to pay another motherfucker $1,200 a month for a trash service, and you're locked in for 3 months, that motherfucker just got a car. That's so fucked up. And I wasn't mad about the dumbass. I was really mad at my team, because I felt like it was out of desperation. They were like, oh, let's try it. You know what I mean? Sometimes, no matter how smart you are, how good you are, it comes down to, do you give a fuck about the thing? That's why I always express when someone asks me, oh, I want to be a videographer, I want to do this. Like, especially when I started doing this full time, one of the big things is that, do you actually care about it? Because I can tell you all day what to do, but at the end of the day, if you don't give a fuck about it, you're not going to want to do it. Like, Neri, at the end of the day, if I was never here, you would be as big as you ever wanted to be, period. Right? That's just going without saying. The same thing for me. if you never would have asked me to help me out, I would have found a way to fucking get where I wanted to go. That's it's a matter of how far you're gonna get with the person. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. But I want to pass the thing on to you. You ever been in a spot where you felt like you were part of a team? And I know I wish Nagi was here. Shout out to Nagi. And for y'all that who have actually continued the podcast, he's actually on next up. There's a little tidbit. But have you ever been part of a team, whether it was at school or just something like that, where you felt like, I'm dragging these motherfuckers along for what I got to go do?
I can understand that perspective. I've been a part of a leadership team responsible for a very large group, actually. And it's been several different situations where, like, I feel like I'm leading the leaders.
Yeah.
Or, like, no one else is really trying. Yeah. So I can understand the frustration that comes along with that. It's definitely taxing.
For sure.
For sure, yeah.
I think what it is, there was one time I was sitting around, and I love my friends, especially my best friend to this day. I still love them, but I remember I could probably would have been this person if it was the other way around. I was part of some shit I didn't give a fuck about. But I remember sitting here, we're doing a skit, and we did skits beforehand, and I'm doing this skit. The way we were doing it, we'll pitch it. I felt like we were going to be RDC. That's how I felt. I felt like we were going to be RDC of the South. That's how I felt, right? We had better cameras than them niggas. We're better than them niggas. We're just as funny. So I thought we could have been RDC. And we used to do skits. And every time I usually didn't pitch skit ideas because I was like, I'm pitching all the time. Let me just chill, right? And when we would chill, I realized I was still directing and all this other stuff, right? Because I was the cameraman. But I remember one day thinking to myself, I remember fighting for this one video, right? It's the most popular video on that channel, by the way. I remember didn't like it at first, right? Which is cool. Obviously, if you're in like a writer's room or something like that in a public setting or a professional setting, the people that you're pitching the idea to or the group in don't laugh or don't get it, it's going to be hard to make it, right? But also in the same perspective, in that same setting, you would be writers. I was in a room full of just my friends. And when I pitched the idea, they were like, I don't get it. Right? I finally came around to pitching it, and we did it again, but this time we had an actor there, and she was cool with it, and when we actually did it, it blew up. Shit today got probably, I mean, it's not like blow up, like, it's not 1 million views, but it's like 17,000 views on it. It gets views every month. Every time I go check back at that video. But I say all that to say, I remember thinking to myself, so I was right? So we did another video, and I'm sitting and I'm waiting. And I'm like, let me let them do anything. I'm not going to say, let's do this, let's do that. No, I'm just going to sit and chill. We sat there and we chilled. Niggas is calm. Niggas is trying to joke and da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. So when we're going to do this video? Oh, yeah, let's do it. Let's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's start it. All right, cool, come on. Let's start it. Okay, cool, come on. Jeff, let's start it. Yeah, let's start it. What are we going to do? Nigga, this is your idea. You do it. And now it sounds stupid because it's like, I've already put myself in the role of, hey, direct, da-da-da-da, right? But, like, it's one thing to put yourself in a role like, hey, this is what I do. Like, you are in control of all this. But when you blur the lines of, hey, sometimes you can tell me what to do and sometimes you can't, it makes it kind of weird where in that situation, I'm like, all right, I just want to see what's going to happen if I don't say nothing. Because they keep all the time trying to dictate what stuff is going on. And it turns out, well, what I thought was going to happen, that, you know, they wanted me to actually facilitate shit, right? I wasn't too pressed about it. I just wanted to see it because to me, it was like, when you put someone in a role, right? If you're the head of like a company or you're the head of a group, because I think stuff works in dynamics, right? Like when it comes to streaming, I don't care about it as much as you and our other folks, right? So if I'm going to sit up here and try to tell you what to do, if I ask you to help me out with something, I got to come with some type of, not respect, but just on some like, I know you know more than me. So this is what I want. Can I do this? Not make this happen. You know what I mean? Because one is disrespectful, and two, it's like, I don't even know how to do it. So I felt like in that same spec, I was like getting asked what to do and not knowing if I can actually do it. Like, yeah, I feel like I'll get wild ideas, bro. You know, you should visually affect this and have this through here. I'm like, bro, do you even know if I can do that? Like, do you know if I can get a CGI car into this video? Do you know if I can do that shit? Do you know if I want to? Do you know my outlooks on that shit? You sound like a client that I had like one client that asked me to make a shadow out of nowhere. I didn't even fucking know how to do that back then. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? Like, anyway, I say all that to say, when it comes to teamwork, that's obviously an example of some bad shit going on, where I'm the one frustrated at the team. But I picked them. I picked them niggas. I went 2 years with my friends, which I do never, ever will take away, that I worked with them to make something good. And I didn't care about what they cared about. All I cared about was that we were a team because I had fun with them. And then they told me they were cool with it, and that was good enough. I was like, oh, let's make a podcast, y'all. And we all made a fucking podcast, right? So I say this to you, the listener. If you're listening to this pod and you know you want to make a team, do me a favor real quick. If they're into what you're into, that's great. That's half the battle. But the truth of the matter is, they don't have to be the future. They don't have to be the future Spike Lee or whatever to get into it. They just got to make sure that they're actually good teammates. Being a good teammate means that you're easy to work with, or somewhat great to work with. If you have a friend that's stubborn and doesn't want to do nothing, that might not be a deterrent for them to go away. But why are they stubborn? Are they stubborn because they know they're good at it, or are they stubborn because they're stubborn in nature? All this stuff you got to play a factor in, because at the end of the day, you're going to be the ones who got to work with them. And the worst part of it is, it's not if you don't make it, it's if you do make it. Because when you make it with these folks that you so heartily want to, are they going to let this shit crash and fall just because they can't work with you? Are they going to make it crash and fall because they really don't like what they're doing? Or are they going to actually stay because the same person that you made your teammate in the beginning is the same one that's going to have your back in the future? At the end of the day, money is money. Money comes through. And money is very important. I'm not going to sit up here and act like money is not. But teamwork is a relationship. You have a relationship with the people on your team. And if you think that it's as easy as we fought with each other, that's it. Look back at all your friendships. And I'll say every single friendship that you probably have is for a certain reason. I'm friends with 1,000,001 colors in the world and creeds of the world, and we don't all have the same line of relationship. There's no way I'm friends with my best friends the same. I'm friends with Nuri was the same way I was friends with my friend Jamal. My friend Jamal and me were both athletes at the school. Me and Marcus were both Haitian. We grew up together. Me and you were friends because I'd be whooping your ass in Tekken. I was playing, but we were friends because we were both crazy over a bunch of things, content creation and whatnot. Those are things that if they went away, we might not be friends. That's the harsh truth, but it's a good truth because there's a reason why y'all friends. You should address that. You're not friends with someone for no reason. You're not unconditionally friends with people, and you're not unconditionally teamwork with people. You should not go into it blindly. Make sure you pick the people due diligently. So, streamers, if you want to have a stream team, make sure the niggas you're doing streams with actually give a fuck about streaming and not just the money. YouTubers, content creators, if you're doing content with folks, make sure you give a fuck about, I don't know if you're acting, or if you're doing actual videos, or if you actually even want to be on YouTube. I've worked with folks that don't even want to be on camera. How do I do that? Are they editing? No. Are they going to be on camera? No. Are they throwing ideas? No. So what are they doing there? I've been a part of that, unfortunately. And, when it comes to podcasting, ladies, listen the fuck up right now. Listen up. If you're podcasting, a lot of people think this is a great get-rich-quick scheme out to the most. You jump in, right? All you got to do is fucking talk. I don't need all this fancy shit and whatnot. I don't need all that shit to talk. I'm funny. Let it go. It's cool to do that one time. There's a little rule of thumb with podcasting. 7 episodes is like the benchmark of, are y'all actually going to keep continuing? If you can pass 7 episodes, because apparently that's it's a rule of thumb. Whenever you see a podcast pass by 7 episodes, most likely they're going to continue for the most part. If you guys can't make it past episode 3, y'all might not be fucking with each other. Podcasts may be fun to do, easy to do. It's just audio for the most part. Half of it's just audio. But you're going to have to sit with folks for an hour, or 2 hours, or 3 hours for a scheduled amount of time. And if y'all make it, you're going to have to keep doing that. Do you actually give a fuck about those folks? That's questions you got to answer. Now, without holding this podcast too long, Neri, I was about to go on a whole diatribe about something else. Is there anything you want to add when it comes to this type of thing? I mean, me and you are now finally teammates. Potentially, I'm going to speak it into existence. We're going to make millions of dollars. I'm speaking it right now. We're going to make millions of dollars. And that's not the part I'm more excited about. I'm more excited about how creative both of us are and the other people that are part of us are. We're going to be making a lot of things. So when it comes to like teamwork, I know me and you are like different. We're in different parts of the spectrum, but what is your takes on teamwork?
Well, first off, just to put them on, how long have we been working together?
That's a good question. I actually had that the other day. I think it was today. It might be. You have to help me out because I don't know. I think it's 6 months. Am I wrong?
This is the 7th month of the year.
7 months. Damn.
So,
Round of applause. Jesus Christ.
Between 5 and 7. 5 and 7.
Yeah, damn. And it's funny because, obviously this started off with like I don't know. I don't think I ever told you this. So in the beginning, I was like, was very hesitant. I'm like, no, bro, I'm not about to ruin my only relationship with this nigga by having him join and I'm going to be fucking mad at him. Because I've told you my other stories about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was a little hesitant for sure.
I got you. Well, thing is, nigga, I was ready. General, think that I might.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Cool. Teamwork in general, I think that, as you said, making sure that you pick the right people who have the same goals, same general desires that you're trying to achieve. You can do anything.
Yeah.
And I think we got that.
Sure. For sure.
So, going forward, everybody, believe you can achieve.
Their music down. I think though one thing that's a factor though is that and I'll say this: you never will get it 100% right. You're not a PR team. You're just a person, right? Some people are bad judges of character, and that's okay because at the end of the day, it's about trying. I'm happy I failed those fucking relationships, teamwork wise, but I'm happy that I tried it because those lessons I get to take on with me. The problem, what's that one quote that I love? And I don't think I have too much time. I still got time. Still got like 10 more minutes. But one of the quotes that I do love, it's cliche, but cliches are very true. And one of them is like, it's that movie with Al Pacino, and he's like, life's not about staying up. Life's about how hard life's not about hitting hard. It's about getting hit and learning how to get up every single time. If you can't get up, you're dead. But if you can learn how to get up, then you know not to get hit like that again. And life's going to hit you hard. If you fold the first time you get hit and won't get back up, nigga, then you want to lose. But saying it for someone right now in this particular moment that doesn't want to be nowhere where I'm at now, I want me and Neri to be in a fucking studio. I want us to be with a massive team. Not a massive team, but a bigger team. I want us to do this solely for a living. I'm happy I took the leap to be a videographer and do this full time, but I'm not gonna sit here and act like this shit's easy. Shit's hard. The camera that this is sitting on costs $3,000 while the equipment that's on there. That shit breaks. I have to get insurance for that. And when I put in all my financial woes, this shit is hard. Very, very fucking hard. The setup we have right now is not even a setup we need. It's overkill. But at the same time, I'm the saying, that's probably going to be another episode about being a black creator. You got to work 4 times as hard just to be just as good as one. Well, it's not 4 times. I think it's twice as hard to be just as good as a creator of not colored or not melanin. But with that all being said, I'm not gonna make all the right decisions. I'm not. Not you either. Newsflash, you're not. One thing that we do have though is that we have the knowledge we have the common sense and the knowledge to at least move on forward. For some reason, me and you are not working together no more, which I'd hope that day never fucking comes. But the day that me and you do not work together, because we're 2 different people, we have 2 different lives. One of the things that I always hope, or I know, is that away from the person that you're holding a crutch on, that you have the knowledge to continue that. Like I said in the beginning of this, you were going to be great without ever being next to me. And I was going to be great whatever having be next to you. But now that we're together, got to make sure that we keep that shit going. financial woes, relationship woes, economy problems. All that shit can happen. The people that you picked, don't be so gung-ho to pick just because I fought with nigga. Or that's my girl. Or I've known them for 10 years. Those are not things you got to rely on. Someone who knows this for a fact, especially that last one I said, knowing someone for a long time don't mean that much. I promise you it don't. I have a friend. He knows what I'm talking about. If you listen to the pod, he's known his friends for 10 years. They did him dirty. I've been in the same boat, bro. I've known the nigga for a long time. That nigga was who he was when I met him. And it's the same reason why I stopped talking to him after high school. You don't keep people around for arbitrary shit like that. You judge them by the content of their character. As cliched all that is, that's the only thing you can do. If I fuck with someone really good, they're really good at this shit, but I can't stand being in the room with them, I'm not going to get far with them. I'm not. Imagine you're on a road trip with a nigga you don't fuck with for 12 hours to get to a certain destination. Is it going to be harder being in a destination with someone who's fucking really good at driving, but they're really, really hard to be in the room and they make a whole bunch of inappropriate jokes. They don't give a fuck about you. They take up all your leg space. They're taking up the armrest too. They don't give a fuck that it's your car that they're driving. No, that's a horrible person to be with, even though they're driving a car pretty well. They never fucking go to sleep and they got fire energy. They probably get to the destination faster theoretically, but that 12-hour ride is going to be long as shit when you don't fuck with them. Versus someone you do fuck with and listens to you and is willing to grow and learn that's in the car driving. Now, this is a bad analogy because obviously I won't let no fucking unexperienced person drive. But for the metaphor's sake, going further with that person is easier because they're going to get better. They're cool with you. They understand. They're going to grow. And that's the number one thing I always give a fuck about. That growth mindset is the number one thing I care about personally. If a person is willing to grow and be better every single other day, that's a tool that some people never give themselves. I take pride in every time I did a video that I was getting better at something. It's so easy for me to be in a little pocket like, oh, everybody fucks with this. I'm just going to keep doing this little trick. And I don't want to do that because I know I'm not competing against the people I'm kind of trying to compete with the people that's above me. Because I know once I get to that level that I'm way better than I was beforehand, but behind me. As a videographer, I got shout out to Tommy 4K, shout out to JR Rinks, Ben Riley's videographer. Back when I first started, I didn't even know who these guys were, and I was more so competing with just general folks. Once I started realizing how big I was, I started looking at people that do it full time. As I started looking at people that did it full time, I started looking just at the people that are big in this country. And a lot of them live here in Atlanta, so I don't have to look too far. But I know that I'm not going to sit up here and act like to catch up with them, I got to get the best of Atlanta. No, I got to make sure that I go with people that are going to grow. Because those same guys probably got big because they kept growing too. Tommy 4K, the guy, shout him out, follow him on Instagram, works with Gucci. I'm not Gucci, he's worked with Gunna, was worked with a couple of QC members. Same thing with Jacob. Jacob, I told you he works with Ben. But he's also worked with Rory. I forgot who else he's worked with. He's got a team of 2. And your boy Truly literally just finished off this year working with Earth Gang, which shout out to me. Where we at? Yeah. I filmed The Mayor. I filmed Earth Gang. I've had whole programs for the city of Atlanta. Stuff I did not think I was ever going to do as a fucking freelancer. But to get a fucking check every year from the city of Atlanta to do something that I love and then on the side film, artist, it's amazing. I'm not going to sit here and act like that's where the fuck the bar stays. The bar has to go higher. So make sure you find people that want to grow. Because at the end of the day, if you want to stay the same, then that's you. But no one gets better by staying in the same spot. That's just me, though. I think I have everything off my fucking chest when it comes to teamwork. Nary, do you have anything else you think we should touch up on?
I think that's a wrap, baby.
It is. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to this pod or watching this pod. If you have your own takes that you think I didn't address when it came to teamwork, feel free to put it in the description below. And actually, if you're on Spotify, there's a question below here that says Q&A. Feel free to put what you think about when it comes to teamwork in that bottom section. But without further ado, make sure you do your due diligence when it comes to the podcast. Rated 5 stars on Spotify. Rated 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you follow your boy Jetpakjeff. That came just died. Jetpakjeff on Instagram, and make sure you follow my producer, my teammate, Nurikami, on Instagram. And it's not Nurikami on Instagram. It's Nuri the Sauce Guy. Please plug yourself.
It's NUR_ the sauce guy.
Oh, Nerd the Sauce Guy. The E is silent.
There's no
the I is
E.
silent. The I is non-existent. Goddamn. But thank y'all so much. We're gonna get out of here. If you're still on this platform, make sure you go listen to another episode because we're here. And if the podcast is not already out, ladies and gentlemen, please go follow Next Hub on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. If it's already out, if not, go to Next Hub. Go to the Next Hub ATL on Instagram to get all your Next Hub needs. If you're into anime, video games, or anything of the such, it's there. But until next time, I'll see y'all later. Peace.